Mute themselves, please. Thank you. Where am I? I don't see myself. Oh, there I am. Hello, welcome to Competitive Communicators, where you only compete with yourself. And if everyone is ready, we are starting. Please mute yourself if you are not speaking. Thank you very much for joining us today. We are just 2 days before Thanksgiving, and I'm thankful for everyone who has joined us. I just want to share a few Zoom etiquette suggestions. I'm Sunny Fridge, your Sergeant at Arms. If you look at the tools, the icons on the bottom left of your screen, I'll be talking briefly about them. Very important. Always keep yourself muted if you're not speaking. And the way you do that is you simply click on the icon of the microphone and it will show you a red stripe and you will know you are muted. To the right of that is the camera icon. Start and stop video by clicking as well. We would love to see your smiling face. However, if you need to take a bathroom break, go to take an important phone call, eat, or if you have to get up for any reason, please turn your camera off so you don't become a distraction to the speaker. Next is participants. When you click that button, you get a chance to see everyone who is on the meeting, and later you will need that when you go to the chat. The chat icon allows us to give inspirations, feedback to our fellow speakers. And you simply click on the icon, and then you can click to everyone, or you can talk to someone privately. If you decide to save the chat, when it's saved, only your private chat and the public messages get saved. In case there's something in the chat you'd like to go back to, it saves as a text message. Our policy: by participating in our meeting, you agree that a recording will be available publicly on our YouTube, our Facebook, and website, and other public media. Again, welcome to Competitive Communicators, where you only compete with yourself. Since we can't talk a lot while someone is talking, this is how we give feedback and welcome to anyone who's speaking. Join me now in welcoming our president, Tricia Grow. Welcome, Tricia.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Competitive Communicators. We'll take a moment and go around the virtual room and introduce ourselves. And tonight I would like you to share something that you are thankful for, since we're 2 days away from Thanksgiving here in the United States. But everyone has something they could be thankful for. First, Kanan.
Thank you, Madam President. You are still talking. I am not able to hear. Okay. Thank you, Madam President. I am very thankful to the entire Toastmaster group for making me a better speaker and better leader. I am from Baltimore, Maryland. I am still with the Toastmaster for the last 6 years. I'm still learning. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. And we have 2 returning guests. Twinkle.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, everyone. My name is Twinkle Misra. I'm dialing in from Chicago, Illinois. Yep, I'm very thankful for just being here. I'm thankful that my work is going well, my family is well, my parents are well, and so far the weather is well. So all good on this side, and that's a lot to be thankful for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sunny.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I love to say that I am a New York girl living in a Mississippi world, and I'm really happy to be here. And what I'm really thankful about, I'm not as grateful like Kanan at this moment, although I love the Toastmasters, but as I was sharing earlier, I think I got the last Popeyes Cajun frozen turkey, fully cooked. I had to search for a couple of hours to get it. And I finally got a call from a district manager who just happened to have one more in Mississippi. So I hope to have a really wonderful, thankful Thanksgiving. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Isabel.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm Isabel. I will be today's table topic master. I guess we have small groups, so maybe everybody get a chance to at least speak once. I'm thankful to have the opportunity to join Toastmasters Club online and home. What a convenience, and what an opportunity to know so many people who has the same kind of passion and goals in public speaking, and we can easily just meet each other online and every week. I'm thankful for the technology that enabled us to be able to do so. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. Mike.
I'm thankful that I don't have to live in Baltimore anymore. Sorry, Kanan. And I'm also thankful that the Steelers aren't playing the Ravens this weekend. But what I'm really thankful for is I found my wallet today just prior to canceling all my credit cards. It was a very nice surprise. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. William, our Toastmaster of the day, so glad that you can make it. Would you please introduce yourself and share something that you're thankful for?
Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, and future Toastmasters, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. My name is William Thomas. I am the Assistant Vice President of Membership. I'm happy to be here with you guys. The one thing I am grateful for all my fellow Toastmasters. Wherever you are, you always brighten up my day.
Thank you very much. And Sandra.
Hi, I got kicked off the system. My name is Sandra Paris, and I am currently joining from Steinbach in Manitoba, Canada. I am thankful for life. I'm thankful for good friends and for the sense of community that I have with Toastmasters and this community that I've recently joined. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much. And I am Tricia Grove, the president of this club, Competitive Communicators. And something I'm very thankful for is my church family. This past Sunday, we just had all humongous Thanksgiving dinner with all the trimmings. And I got to sit with my church family and have a Thanksgiving dinner. It was just a very lovely time. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, who's a longtime friend and Toastmaster, William Thomas. Please help me welcome William.
Thank you, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters. I am your Toastmaster for today's meeting. What is the job of the Toastmaster? The Toastmasters make sure everything runs on time, stays on time, and I don't do this alone. I have a bunch of helpers. Can I please have before we do that, thought of the day, which is actually, I'm the thought of the day. Preparation, not sweat, makes the day go by faster. And that's a saying from my father, William Thomas Sr. Now, like I said before, I have a bunch of helpers who help me run this meeting. Can I please have our counter step for it, please? Madam President, can you be the odd counter?
I can. I'll be the odd counter. Did we end up with a word of the day? Okay, I will use one that we had earlier today. I'll find it and put it in the chat in a moment.
Okay.
As a counter grammarian, it's my duties to listen to the meeting for phrases or words that are not necessary, such as and the like. This helps us refrain from using these words and build in pauses. So we will pause instead of saying one of these words and thus add more to our conversation. Secondly, as grammarian, it's my duty to listen to your terms of your grammar. Did you mess up the pronoun, verb, and tense? Also, to provide you with a word of today. The word of the day is retinine. It is used in a sentence such as follows. The definition is a large group or following. This is a very old word. It's usually used for queen or king's court, the retinine. And in today's world, we would say their entourage. It's their entourage, the people that follow them around, but it's retinue. I was pronouncing it incorrectly, sorry, retinue. And I will find it here in a moment and put it in the chat for you later. But that will be today's word. I used it earlier today to talk about our Thanksgiving dinner and how we had a retinue of people at our Thanksgiving dinner this past Sunday at my church, over 70 people. So it was quite a retinue. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President. Can I have our body language monitor come forth? Oh, actually, it's whoops, I think that's me. Let me check, I think that is me. Yeah, yes, whoops. And I got knocked off, unfortunately. Yeah, that happens. It happens to me sometimes. It happens to me every once in a while. I get knocked off. Oops. But I'll fix it in a second. It always happens 1 or 2 days. It goes
You can
down.
put that in there.
Pray for it. Sorry about that, my fellow Toastmasters. My internet went down for a second. But anyway, can I have our... Oh, that's right. That's me, actually. I am the body language monitor. Say, what is the job of the body language monitor? We look for good body movement or body position. In other words, good body movement is using your hands to left or to the right. Not so good body movement is to have your hands behind your back or in your pockets. We try not to do that, and I will be giving a report to either the Toastmaster or General Evaluator, whoever shows up first. Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you. Can I have our chat monitor show up, please? Chat monitor, will you please come forth?
Mr. Toastmaster of the day, I will serve as...
Yeah, I'm muted, but for some reason I can't hear you, Sonny. I'm muted, but I can't hear you.
Okay, I will try to see if I can fix my audio.
It might be for me.
I think it's just William. We can hear you.
Hold on a second. Let me sign out. This is probably for me.
In the meantime, I can tell you what the role is of chat monitor, and that is to look into the chat, see if there's anything, any interesting comments from our members and guests, and I will give a report of the usage of the word of the day if it's in the chat, just how people relate to each other in the chat monitor. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Well, it appears William's still trying to reconnect, but I'll just pick up for him until he returns. Next on our agenda would be our timer, which we have our guest Twinkle being our timer today. Could you just please explain what a timer does?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Madam President. And fellow Toastmasters, as a timer, my role is to make sure that the speakers are on time. They have how much, just to make sure that they have a good track of how much time they have spent on their speech. It applies to both table topics and the prepared speeches. For table topics, the time limit will be 2 minutes. So I will show the green. I don't know if you can see it, but green for, it's my apologies for the rough sketch here. I didn't have paper and pen handy I was not really prepared for this one. But this is green.
I can see you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, William.
Nod your heads if you can hear me. Okay, so I know you can hear me good. Let me unmute myself.
So for the table topics, for 1 minute, I'll show the green card. And at 1.5 minutes, I'll show the yellow. If you can't see it, I'll just write it down as well. And for 2 minutes, it will be red card. And same for prepared speeches. For 5 to 7 minute speeches, it will be 5 minutes green card, 6 minutes yellow card, and 7 minutes it will be red card. I believe it's all 5 to 7 minute speeches today, both of them, or is it 4 to 6 minutes, one of them? I can't.
No, mine is 8 to 10 minutes. 8, 9, 10.
Okay, thank you, Kanan.
Nice.
Can I have our next representative step forth, please?
That was our timer. So I think we're ready to begin the meeting.
Inspiration.
Oh, inspiration, sorry.
Can you hear me, Madam President? Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Can I have?
William, do you want me to have the
our timer please show up? Step forth, please.
I don't think he can hear us. We had our timer already.
He has completed the timer.
Whatever reason, Madam President, I can't hear you, but you can hear me. I don't know what it is.
William, I can hear you. We have completed the timer. Okay, we need to call for the inspiration by Isabel. Can you hear me?
Can I maybe out? Let me see.
Well,
can I type it?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do inspiration, Isabel, while he's trying to figure out his.
Okay. Well, I have a poem by Anonymous. The poem reads, I'm your constant companion. I'm your greatest helper or heaviest burden. I will put you onwards or drag you down to failure. I'm completely at your command. I'm the servant of all great men, and alas, of all failures as well. Those who are great, I've made great. Those who are failures, I've made failures. I'm not a machine, though I work with all the precision of a machine, plus the intelligence of a man. You may run me for profit or run me for ruin. It makes no difference to me. Take me, train me, be firm with me, and I will put the world at your feet. Be easy with me. I will destroy you. Who am I? I'm a habit. Just as how Aristotle said about habit, we are what we repeatedly do. Habit is our constant companion. Back to you, Mr. or Madam President.
Thank you. William, do you have your ears on now? Can you hear us? All right, Sunny. Oh, wait, maybe. Can you hear us? Yes? No? No? Okay.
He's not there.
Well, he's there. He just can't hear us.
I can hear you guys, but you guys can hear me. I don't know what it is.
Okay. We will just go ahead and proceed as without William not being able to hear us. It's going to be too difficult for him to be Toastmaster of the day. Would someone please communicate with him in the chat? That's what's going on. I don't want him to feel that we don't want him to be our Toastmaster today. It's
I've
very
already done
difficult
so.
to operate this way.
I've already done so.
All right, thank you very much. So we'll go ahead. Sonia, did you want to take over as Toastmaster today, or did you want me to?
I was thinking that you probably already have the intro for Sandra.
No,
You do not.
I don't have anything
Okay,
except
well,
her title. I
I will
tell
go
you what
ahead.
speech she's doing.
All righty. Okay, well, welcome back again to Competitive Communicators, where we compete with ourselves. We are now ready for the prepared speakers. Our first speaker of the day is a returning guest, Sandra Paris. She has a very interesting title for her speech, and she will probably be able to quickly put it in the chat for us after she does her speech. I'd love to say more about her, but I do know that I believe she's a two-time DTM, working on her third DTM, and the title of her speech is Naked Swimming, or something close to that. Without further ado, please help me welcome Sandra Paris.
Yes, coming first, our first will be
Sandra, you can go ahead and start your speech, please.
Okay. Oh, what happened? One morning, a friend and I set out for a day of play in the waters. Soon after we arrived, a few more people showed up. I should probably put on my bathing suit, I thought. These people may find my nudity offensive. Would you have the courage to swim naked? Madam, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and fellow guests, courage is the ability to face uncertainty or pain without being overcome by fear, without being deflected from a chosen course of action. To be naked is to stand totally exposed, completely vulnerable to the consequence of the moment, good or bad, comfortable or uncomfortable. To stand in the abyss of uncertainty without harbor, safe or otherwise. We spend our lives in constant contention for the approval from some authority figure or controlling force, be it family, employer, or community. Many of us traverse this life in a nervous haze of voiceless non-identity, waiting for everything we are or do to be rubber stamped or sanctioned, when in fact, we do not have to. Author Alan Cohen and a friend were out enjoying one of Alan's favorite pastimes, swimming au naturel in one of the countless magical waterfalls hidden in the mountains near his home. Throughout the day, many people came to the very place where Alan and his friend frolicked in the nude. With each new family or camcorder-toting visitor, Alan wrestled with himself. Should I put my swim trunks on? But each time he argued, we were here first. If they don't like it, they can leave. No one else removed their suits, but no one else left either. Everyone seemed fine with us being naked, and we all enjoyed ourselves. At the end of the day, as Alan and his friend got dressed and ready to leave, Alan speaks of a deep sense of peace that pervaded his being. He speaks of this magnificent awakening he experienced. He had an epiphany. The key question of life, as he calls it, do you have the courage to swim naked, even when others are wearing suits? With this epiphany, Alan was not speaking to the obvious physical nakedness. No, he was speaking metaphorically to the infinitely more important spiritual nakedness, to be who you are, whatever you are, wherever you are. Acting from a sense of inner honesty rather than social accommodation, conditioning, or expectations. I ask you, do you have the courage to swim naked, even when others are wearing suits? In a similar vein, Henry David Thoreau once affirmed, I went to the woods because I wanted to live deliberately. I wanted to love deeply and suck out the marrow out of life, and not when I had come to die, discover that I had not lived. Are you living deliberately? Or are you living your life according to familial or social expectations? Are you sucking the marrow out of life? Or is life sucking the life out of you? To live deliberately is to live according to that which impassions you, that which makes you happy and brings that glow of inner conviction, peace, and beauty to your very being. Conversely, who have you coerced away from living deliberately? A son, a daughter, spouse, a sibling, a friend? Have you nurtured a spirit, or have you murdered a spirit? We are all unique, each with a gift to share, to positively impact the lives of those we touch or encounter in the journey of life. Do you dare to stand away from the safety of the crowd, fully exposed and speak your truth from a place of inner purity, honesty, and conviction? To be who you are, whatever you are, wherever you are? Many of us are convinced away from our world point of views, living our lives not according to who we really are, but according to the status quo. It is when, and only when, we consciously decide to be true to ourselves, to be active participants according to our heart's desires, as opposed to being passive reactants to life. Then and only then will we know the joy of true success and not the angst of an unfulfilled, pretended existence. What is your dream? The one thing that you want to do, but is afraid to do because of what others might say or how they react, afraid of being embarrassed. Oh, for the freedom of childhood innocence. Maturity is supposed to be about growth and development, the gaining of mental and emotional wisdom. But is it really? Or does it rob us of that place of clarity from which we create? American Idol, Britain's Got Talent, and the like are all reality shows where many have the courage to swim naked while the rest of us are wearing suits. Now, not all the contestants who audition are good, but they can all say that they each stepped out from the crowd, each in his or her own nakedness, fully exposed to test his or her dream. And along the way, we are exposed to some amazing talent because they had the courage to swim naked, to be vulnerable, like Susan Doyle, who dared to dream and stepped on the stage of Britain's Got Talent, to snickers, laughter, and disparaging looks of cynicism. And then she opened her mouth, and the voice of an angel filled the air, leaving all present with jaws dropped in disbelief and awe. Every time you make the decision to step out of your comfort zone, out of the anonymity of the crowd, to stand alone in your own vulnerability, be it here in a virtual meeting room, at a lectern, or some other occasion, there are consequences. Consequences that, though out of our control, will afford us the opportunity to grow and expand our limits of fear. My friends, relieve of their duties the puppeteers in your lives. Resume control of your life's goals. Face your fears. Live boldly. Live deliberately. Starting tonight, follow your heart. Dare to dream. Buddha says, to see what few have seen, you have to go where few have gone. Fellow Toastmasters, have the courage to swim naked, even when others are wearing suits. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. That was great. Our guest, Sandra Paris. And now, Madam Timer, will you give us 1 minute on the clock so that we all can give Sandra feedback on her speech? 1 minute on the clock.
One minute over.
Thank you very much, Madam Timer. It is time for our second speaker, who will be Kanan Sakura. Kanan is going to speak from the Better Club series, Finding New Members for Our Club. Madam Timer, the time is 8 to 10 minutes. Finding new speakers for our club. Welcome, Kanan Sakura, DTM Sakura.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and very inspirational speaker and our distinguished guest, Miss Paris. Can you all tell me, why do we need to find new members? Yeah, please, Dr. You can go on.
Sorry, I didn't know if that was rhetorical, but
Yeah, please.
Keep our club
I want to ask
going.
you.
Yes, to keep our club going.
Thank you. We need to get new members to keep the club going, to have new ideas, and we can bring new leaders so that our club will stay as one of the greatest clubs in the entire universe. We are a present distinguished club, and we need many new members. I'm going to share a presentation, but meanwhile, what I'm going to do is, can you tell me whose responsibility is to bring members? Anyone can tell me.
All of us.
Correct. Even though some people think that it is the responsibility of VP membership, it is the responsibility of every member of the club to bring new members. By bringing new members, we get new ideas, we get new leaders, and we can make our club very successful. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, the Toastmaster of International, our TI, has created some presentations for the benefit of the club so that the club can be successful. This is called Successful Club Series. This successful club series contains many important presentations that the club can utilize it. Today I'm going to use those slides and I am going to go through how to find members for our club, Competitive Communicators. First of all, we all clearly identify it is the responsibility of every member. How can we find new members? When we talk to our friends, we can tell them, hey, there is an online club that meets in the evening, that meets in the weekend. We can be part of that club. When I share this to District 18, you will not believe many Toastmasters are not aware that we can have the Toastmaster meeting online. I have asked them to attend our meetings. Once they get the comfort, once they are coming out of their in-person speaking comfort zone, they can really enjoy the online meeting. So I encourage you all to talk to your friends, relatives, and co-workers. Tell them that we have a great club here. The second is you can bring a Toastmaster pin. My pins are all only, I can use it for in-person meeting. I want to thank our Sergeant at Arms, Dr. Fritz, because she always wears the Toastmaster emblem shirts. Today also she is wearing the shirt. Thank you, Sunny. If you can see that, that is a real way of promoting Toastmaster Club. Another thing is Toastmaster magazine. I normally include the latest Toastmaster meeting to our guests in their welcome packet or to our members when they get the kit. Okay, so this Toastmaster meeting, they can read the articles and all, they can get inspired so they can become a member. We do not have promotional brochures. Some of the clubs have got promotional brochures. I think my home club printed some time ago, we used to give it to that. And we can have a speechcraft workshop. Trust me, in our own Competitive Communicators, we have a greatest Toastmaster, recently completed the speechcraft, Isabel. I was part of that. Very inspiring, that workshop was. And we have a social networking website. We have already done that. We can share that. They can go and find out what is happening in our club. They can record, they can see, they can hear our recordings. They can see how inspirational our Miss Paris was speaking today. You get really inspirational to hear those sort of speeches. So that will motivate you to join the club, and one day you can also be inspired to give those speeches. And when the guests come, we have invited the guests, let us say they have come, same like the guests coming to our house. We have to treat them when they come at our door, when they ring our bell, we say, please welcome. The same thing, the same way we have to welcome our guests. One of them, we should not let the guest alone, whether it is Twinkle or Miss Paris, we can tell that, do you need anything? Do you know what is happening? If it is a seasoned Toastmaster, we don't have to tell them. If it is a novice, if they don't know what is happening, they will say, oh, this is a Toastmaster meeting. What will happen next? So they will be very eager. So you can tell them what is happening so that they will be involved. Those sort of things are good. If you have a guest and if you come to your house and if you leave them in a couch and then forget it, and if you are busy with your kitchen, what will they feel? They will feel bad. So same way, we need to make sure we entertain our guests. We have to make sure we tell them what is going on. We have to involve them in the table topics. And then we have to talk to the guests after the meeting. How did you feel? Are you feeling welcome? Can you come again? You can be part of our club. You can be a speaker. You can also do this. You can be the Toastmaster. Encourage them, motivate them to be in our club. We don't have to force them to join as a members for our club, but we can tell them, if you are If you want to try it out a couple of months, no problem. Try it out, but I know that you will become a member. We can request them to visit again and again. Fellow Toastmasters, we need more members. I think competitive communicators, once we had 40 members, now we have around high 20s, 28 or 29, I don't know the exact number, but we need to break that mark and we need more members. So I would all encourage them to bring more members. I'm going to keep today very short. I want to make sure our club to be successful. I want our club to be friendly to the new Toastmasters. We want to help them. We grow. We serve to grow. We grow to serve. Fellow Toastmasters, let us all help each other. Back to you. If you treat the guests very well, they will remember us. That is a Homer's word. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kanan. A guest never forgets someone who treats him kindly. Madam Timer, would you put 1 minute on the clock so that we may give Toastmaster Sakara some feedback? 1 minute on the clock.
Sure. Okay, 1 minute is over.
Boy, time certainly flies when you're having fun giving feedback. Again, thank you, both speakers. Madam Timer, you will tell us later whether they met their time limits. It's now time for our second part of the meeting, Thinking on Our Feet, impromptu speaking. One of my favorite table topic masters is on now. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Isabel Kadori. Isabel.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Well, life don't always give us the opportunity to prepare our speeches. In fact, most of our speeches are unprepared. So to practice this skill, we have table topics. By answering unrehearsed questions, we exercise the skill of listening, thinking, organizing, and speaking. I have a list of questions. I will randomly choose one. All those questions are very easy. They are all about getting to know each other. So I will repeat the question and call someone to respond. A table topic speech should be 1 to 2 minutes long. When you reach the 1 minute, you will see a green signal from a timer and a yellow signal from at 1.5 minutes. And a red signal and 2 minutes. If you see the red signal, please wrap up in 30 seconds. My first topic is actually that probably fit with Kanan's speech very well. What is the most heartwarming thing you ever seen? What is the most heartwarming thing you ever seen? I would like to call Mr. Thorne.
I thought you'd never ask. I'm Table Topics Master. The most heartwarming thing I've seen happened to be in Toastmasters. About 10 years ago, I witnessed a young woman get up in front of us and provide her icebreaker speech. Let me provide a very quick summary of it. She walked up and went, "Hi, my name is Ruth, and I have 3 things I want to relate," and went downhill from there. That was the best part of it. If you met her today, you'd be absolutely astounded at how powerful she is, how eloquent, how smooth she is in her presentations. And I had the opportunity to see her recently, and I was just completely blown away at how Ruth made her presentations before an audience of several hundred people. She was in charge. And it was simply because of her training in Toastmasters and her personal desire to excel. I found that very heartwarming. Back to you, Madam Table Topics.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mike Song. That's a dream of people like me. I hope someday I will excel in public speaking as well. The second question: what is the farthest you ever been from home? What is the it should be where is the farthest? I don't know. Is that grammatically correct? What is the farthest you ever been from home?
Where?
Should be where, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got this this list online. They did not put the right words in. So where is the farthest you ever been from home? With this question, may I ask our timer, Twinkle?
Sure. Thank you so much, Madam Table Topics. Where have I been the farthest from home?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good question because that directly applies to me. If I think back in my life, it was 2003, and so I was born and raised in India. I had my education and all the schooling, everything. So my whole family is back in India, and I worked there for over an year. That's when I got an opportunity to move to United States, Arizona, for my work. And I had to take this plane. That was the first time ever my international trip. But at the same time, it was very liberating because it felt like, I'm going out for a new adventure and a new set of people, new everything. So this is the farthest I have been from home, and I still miss my a whole family, my parents, my siblings, and all the relatives. But at the same time, I have my new family here. I have so many people. So now looking back, I'm like, I know more people here than I know in India. And my child was born here. Of course, my husband works here, and I have so many friends. And of course, I have my Toastmasters club. So it has been the farthest, but it also has, I have 2 homes now. Back to you.
Thank you, Twinkle, for sharing. I'm glad to hear that you have more friends here now than back in India, because now the United States is your home now. Next question. What has impressed you the most with what someone have accomplished? What have impressed you the most? With this question, I would like to call our president, Tricia.
Thank you very much. Would you repeat that one more time? What has impressed me the most?
Yeah, I'm afraid that those sentences were not so correct, but I don't know how to change it, how to correct it. Who has impressed you the most with what they have accomplished?
Okay. Who has impressed me the most with what they have accomplished? Oh, that is a hard question. I have so many people I look up to because they've accomplished hard things. I think that in our particular club, the person I look up to one of the most is Dr. Sandra Paris. And that reason is that in a short period of time, really, that I've gotten to know her, I've seen her bloom, her leadership skills and how she's applied them, and has gone on to be a great leader in many different facets of her life. And I just really appreciate that, you know, she's here in this club leading us as well. She's a leader here in our club, and I just appreciate her efforts in trying to continue growing our club, and as well as all the things that she does outside of our club. She has many other clubs that she's put together herself, and I just really feel privileged to have seen her grow and become a leader, and I feel appreciative that she's here leading with us.
Thank you. Okay, last question. What is the most annoying question that people ask you? What is the most annoying question that people ask you? William, is your connection back? William, would you like to answer this question?
He will be speaking in a moment. I forgot to ask him to speak.
Okay. Well, doesn't seem like William hears me. We have a guest here. Is our guest that joined the meeting by via phone call? Is our guest want to answer this question? Please go ahead. I saw our guest has unmuted himself. Oops, maybe not. Okay, how about Dr. Sandra Paris? Would you like to answer this question?
Actually, I will say a few words about it so that we can continue, since I neglected to call on our next prepared speaker. But was the question, what's one of the most annoying things that you get asked?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, one of the most annoying things that I get asked is, well, I don't get asked it, but I know a lot of kids do it. And I probably used to do it when I was a kid. And it was, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Years ago when I was young, we would go to North Carolina. This is where I actually was born, and my family would travel down to see my cousins. It was an 8-hour drive from New York City, and along the way, my sisters and I, you know, back then, you did not have iPhones and computers and even the video games to keep you busy. So all you could do was pass the time away, maybe doing some games, counting cars, things like that. So the question most asked was, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And my dad would usually say, not yet, not yet. And we didn't really have a lot of fast food restaurants. And I guess you're saying, how old are you? But back in the day, you really didn't have McDonald's springing up franchises in every city. So to keep busy, we would always want to know, are we there yet? Are we there yet? And even today, I ask myself, am I there yet? When it comes to Toastmasters, I just got a beautiful inspiration from Tricia, because I model what I see often. So while I'm not where I want to be yet, I'm on my way. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sunny. I really, that's a beautiful answer to this annoying question. Well, that concludes our table topic session. We have 4 speakers. Just a little bit information for you to vote after the meeting. Our first speaker is Mike Thorne. His question is, what's the most heartwarming thing? And our second speaker is Twinkle, who her question, her topic was, where is the farthest place you ever been? Third speaker is Tricia, who impressed you the most? And the last speaker is Sunny, the most annoying question. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Masters, for those great questions. And we did get to know each other a little bit more. Now, let's go back just a tad to our prepared speaker. I know that William Thomas is here, and we do know that we can hear him. So this will be a 5 to 7 minute speech. William, will you please introduce the name of your speech, and let's welcome William Thomas to the platform, to the podium.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. My speech title for today is What's Life? I remember when I was about 5, I said to my mom, and I said to my dad, Mom, Dad, what's life? And you know what they said to me? As you grow up, my son, you will answer your own question. And I was like, huh? What? That makes no sense. But truly, as I did grow up, I found out that life can mean many things. Life can mean spending time with those you consider friends and family. Life can be just taking the most beautiful things into life, looking at a beautiful flower, or looking at a beautiful woman, or for the women, looking at a beautiful man. When I got to be 16, I said to myself, my dad is right. I answered my own question. When I turned 22, I remember my niece coming to me and saying the same question that I asked my dad. Uncle William, what's life? I said, sweetie, life can mean many things to you. It can mean looking at the beautiful sky or watching a favorite show you may have with my niece. I know my niece, she loves to watch Star Trek. In fact, I got her hooked on that. She started watching it with me and said, Uncle William, what is this show? And I said, it's called Star Trek. And she became a fan of the show. Only at 8 years old, she became a fan of the show. Next day, she comes to me and she says, Uncle William, I think I have a admirer. What do you mean by an admirer? Well, there's this little boy who's in the same grade as me, but every time I look towards him, he looks down. Well, he's shy, sweetie. He's shy. What do you mean he's shy, Uncle William? Well, some guys look at a beautiful woman or a beautiful little girl, and they have feelings, but they don't know how to bring those feelings across. So I tell you what, I said, you know what those favorite cookies that your Uncle William gets you? Yeah. Offer him, go watch him and offer him one. And she did. And her life changed. She had a new friend who turned into a boyfriend. And I'm glad she came and asked me that than her father, because she would get her father gray hairs asking him that question. What's life? Life is winning an award. Winning an award for the first time. I remember when I was 10, I won Special Olympics. I came in first place in the pole vaulting. And that was my first time doing that. And I don't know how I did it. I guess God or somebody must have been with me, gave me the energy to do it. But I said to myself, wow, That's life. Life is what you make of it, my fellow Toastmasters. Life is that inspiration that's inside of us. It drives each and every one of us to be great. What's life? Life is what you make of it. What you see or what you climb. When you climb that mountain, remember this, my fellow Toastmasters. What is life? Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you so much, William Thomas, for that inspiring speech on what's life. Now, Madam Timer, would you give us 1 minute on the clock so that we can give William feedback?
Okay, 1 minute over.
Thank you, Madam Timer. It is now time for our third part of the meeting, listening. Here to help us with feedback, which is so valuable to every member, is our General Evaluator, Mike Thorne. Let's welcome Mike Thorne, who says the past, the present, and the future walked into a bar and it was tense. Hopefully you will be intense.
Thank you, Sunny. This is, to me, the key part of any Toastmasters meeting. Many of us have given presentations and thought we did great, only to realize many minutes or weeks later, it was pretty bad. So here's the opportunity for us to receive immediate feedback as to what we did. And to do that, we have individual evaluators reviewing individual presentations. We've already had the opportunity to make comments in writing, but now someone's going to provide a oral presentation on what they feel and what they saw. And notice I say what they saw, what they felt the presentation was all about. And our first evaluator for Sandra Paris, I believe, is Tricia Grow. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tricia, over to you.
Thank you very much, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, especially Sandra. Swimming naked. I was kind of afraid of this title. I was going to share something that we did as kids. We called it skinny dipping. And we would swim naked in our local pond. I never took part in this practice, but there were quite a few who did. But you use this turn of phrase to become so much more powerful, to link it with your fear. What are you afraid of? Is another way you could have entitled the speech, but by putting swimming naked, I think that even grasped our attention more than calling it, what are you afraid of? Swimming naked is like having the courage to stick out and be different. To live life deliberately, as you quoted Henry David Thoreau. What can I say? Most every mark I have on here is positive, Sandra. how you are a wonderful storyteller. You use colorful language throughout your speech. I've noted several different words I just, only as a grammarian, but even just as an evaluator, I like to listen to. Frolicked. Epiphany. Words like that. Just very direct words that helped us color this picture of this person swimming naked. Although they're not swimming, they're doing something different. They're sticking out from the crowd, which takes courage. I just thoroughly enjoyed listening to you as a speaker, sharing this inspirational message with us. And the only small thing I can offer to you, Sandra, is something that's going to come with a little bit of time. I know that you're new to our online world. It's becoming friends with your camera, learning to look at it instead of your screen or off to the side, so we feel that you're looking at us. So your eye contact was the only part that I think you could work on a little bit more. It was there. I saw you looking, but it's just something that grows with use. You'll become more and more used to the camera and how to speak to the camera instead of your screen. It is a skill. But other than that, Sandra, I literally cannot wait to hear from you again, because you're just an amazing speaker, and I think we'll all grow by listening to you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. And we have as a second evaluator a man that does not really require any introduction. He's well known, he's famous, he's intense. And here he is, evaluating Kanan Sankara. Kanan, your speech was how to find new members from the successful club series. The thing I want to say immediately is it was powerful. You provided a powerful presentation, primarily because it was obvious that you're speaking from a position of experience and authority. Nobody could doubt that you knew your topic. You organized the topic quite well. You had supporting points that fell right in line with each other. That went very well. You had great use of opening or interactive questions. It caught us totally by surprise. I believe it was Sunny that eventually responded to you. But the point was that you immediately drew us into your topic. Very well done. Your intensity and your enthusiasm were remarkable. I noticed someone in the notes said you tend to go like this. I thought that was impressive because you made your points when you leaned forward. Your body language just demanded our attention. And you had a very nice challenge at the end, a very strong conclusion. So how could you make your speech better? The first is perhaps use of a pregnant pause periodically, because you tend to just go on, move on from point to point to point. If every so often you just pause for a second, let us catch up with you, let us reflect upon what you just said and where you're going next, you'd be even more effective. But my big gripe, and this is strictly a pet peeve, was the use of your tailored slides from Toastmasters. I hate tailored slides from Toastmasters as a point of departure because they're nothing more than just verbiage. I would strongly recommend you take those lines, instead of showing the lines of text, show a picture, show a schematic, show some representation, because that always captures people's attention more than seeing what they can see on your slide. The mere fact that they can read it takes away from what you're saying. But if you show a picture, you can then elaborate upon the picture and you can suddenly become part of their help me. Well, you can become part of their experience. Other than that, Kanan, I thought it was a great speech. You nailed it. Look forward to it in the future. Yay, back to General Evaluator. Our third evaluator, evaluating William Thomas, is a return guest, Tricia Grow. Tricia?
Thank you very much. William, what's life? Now this could be, maybe should be, very heavy subject, but you and your wonderful storytelling made it interesting and fun. I thought that you, especially with all the technical difficulties you were facing, persevered. You persevered, you gave your speech. My hat's off to you for just keeping on. I caught several different times during your speech where you used pauses effectively. So again, just wonderful ways of incorporating your storytelling into everything that you do. You have vocal variety. The one thing, and I've seen it mentioned in the chat, is, and we understand you had some technical difficulties tonight, but right now we see you very well. You're on the screen, but while you were speaking, you had basically your nose up, and that's all we could see. We couldn't see your hand gestures. We couldn't really even see your facial expressions because we could only see this part of you. So much like the evaluation of those notes I gave to Sandra, I'll give to you. Be more aware of your camera, where you are in the camera, and what we see, because we want to see you. You're such a wonderful storyteller, and you use your hands. I could tell you were moving, but I couldn't see what you were doing because I only could see from your nose up. I always enjoy listening to you speak, William, and I, of course, am very excited to hear you soon and again in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. As earlier mentioned, we have a series of facilitators. Could we have our chat monitor report first? Sunny?
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. As I take a look through, let me cancel the spotlight. As I take a look through the chat, I'm enjoying reading some of the comments. What I do notice is that we did not have an opportunity to use retinue, but if all the members are here, I guess you're my retinue, you're my posse, you're my containers. That's the best I can do with the word of the day. I'll have to look it up. But also, I loved some of the comments to our members that, well, one of mine, I thought, I can't find it now, sorry. Well, Sandra, what an inspirational speech. Kanan, thank you for the great call to action for our club to serve. That's another one of mine. But I think I should just turn it back over to you. But what I also see is that the speakers enjoy the feedback and they respond privately. So that means it is very important to them. I will now turn it back over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sunny. I lost track. Who was our grammarian?
That was me.
Go ahead.
I was the counter and grammarian, although I failed you miserably with the counter because I didn't do it at all. But I was listening for our grammarian, and thank you very much, Sunny, for using the word of the day by our last minute. Retinue. It was a difficult word. We used it earlier in a meeting I had earlier today, so I sort of stole it last minute when possibly could have had a better word choice if I had more time. But as I already said in Sandra's speech, I just really enjoyed her colorful language, just all these wonderful words. And William, with his energy and his expressiveness, doesn't matter what words he say, they're all just wonderful, just with the colorful language and energy that he provides when he speaks. But overall, I just thought we did fairly well with our English language today. I didn't hear any glaring errors. And if anyone else has anything to add, you can put it in the chat. That's my report.
Thank you, Tricia. I will add something for the awe counter. I do not remember hearing any gross like throughout the entire meeting. So very well done. That leads us just of our timer. Twinkle, could you give us a summary of everybody's times?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So as for the timer report, again, everyone did really well. So starting from our speakers, William had 5 to 7 minute speech, and he took 4 minutes 56 seconds. Tricia, his evaluator, her speech was for evaluation was 2 minutes 4 seconds. Kanan's speech was 8 to 10 minutes, and he took 8 minutes 23 seconds. And Mike, his evaluator, evaluation speech was 2 minutes 39 seconds. Sandra, her speech I think it was 5 to 7 minute speech, and she took 8 minutes 24 seconds. So it was little over time. And Tricia, her evaluation speech was 3 minutes 20 seconds. As for the table topics, Mike was at 1 minute 11 seconds. Tricia was at 1 minute 30 seconds, and Sunny was at 1 minute 30 seconds. And that's all from the timer.
Thank you very much. I believe we can now run the poll, Sunny. Okay. As we're answering the poll, I have a few general comments to make. We, as always, had a normal chaos at the beginning of the meeting. I think that's part and parcel of being a Toastmaster. What it did represent was everybody's flexibility. We jumped in, we took over the roles, we made it happen. However, it would probably help if people were here a little bit earlier to prepare for the meeting. So coming to the meeting at the last moment, while we appreciate you being on time, it's advantageous for you a little bit there a bit sooner. And of course, having the sparse attendance we had tonight made it even more challenging. I did like the very beginning of the meeting, the Toastmaster description of the meeting agenda. Very well done in the facilitator roles. I was particularly impressed by the fact that many of us had double duties. Again, that speaks to our capabilities and a very strong attestation of our capabilities. And that pretty much completes my general evaluation. With that, I return it back to the Toastmaster.
Ooh. Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. It's been my pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster of the day since we had challenges with technology today. And I again thank everyone for helping me to have a successful meeting, because teamwork makes the dream work. I now return the meeting back to our president, Tricia Grau.
Thank you very much, and thank you for removing me from being a co-host so I could vote. I appreciate that very much.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll in 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And here we go. The results of the poll are as follows. People felt that the meeting was awesome and wow. And although it wasn't checked, I would say despite technology, we had a good meeting. Our best speaker today was Sandra Paris, swimming naked. Let's hear from our winner. Sandra? Unmute.
Thank you very much. It doesn't always never want to unmute. Thank you very much. This was my first
Online.
in a virtual meeting, so I was really nervous, and I really appreciate the comments that I got, because when you're standing in a brick and mortar, it's, you know, it's so much different. But so thank you very much for your feedback. I really appreciated it, and thanks for voting for me.
All right, thank you very much too. Great job, Kanan and William as well. Our best table topic speaker was Sunny. Most annoying question. Well, thank you very much. I enjoyed the question. And yes, sometimes it's annoying when I ask myself, are we there yet? Am I there yet? I know that I'm going to get there. So I just have to learn to enjoy the journey. So thank you for voting for me. Now, our best speaker, speech evaluator was Tricia Grow, evaluating Sandra Paris. Let's hear it for Tricia.
Well, I think since I was 2 out of the 3 evaluators, I had a leg up on Mike. So.
Well, we enjoyed you. Oh, you are muted, so I didn't know whether you were talking anymore.
I was done. Yeah.
Okay, well, that was short and sweet. Thank you very much, Tricia. And finally, our best facilitator tonight, although it should have been close, Isabel Kaduri. Woohoo! Yay! Unmute.
Thank you for voting for me. I don't think I'm the best facilitator, but thank you for trying to motivating me, and I try to do better each time. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. And I just want to say a special shout out to Tricia Grow, who took not 1, not 2, but probably 3 roles today and doing a great job. As our president, always knowing that as a leader, you sometimes have to fill in and fit in where you can. And we appreciate that you do that. And that's why we get inspired to do the same. Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you very much.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. And oh, yes.
I never did that.
Yes, we did that.
Okay, so I can stop.
I was like, wait, I think we already read the results of the poll. It just popped up again. I would like to ask our 2 returning guests and hopefully soon to be members. Sandra, how did you find today's meeting? Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, can you get rid of the poll?
It used to go into, when you click on the mic, it would normally, but now it goes into that list. So it doesn't quite, it was nerve-wracking for me. It was just because it was my first speech, but I really enjoyed it. And it is actually an area that I know that I can grow in. So I'd like to say thank you for providing me the opportunity to do so. I really appreciate the feedback. And I've always said that you're as good a speaker as the evaluations that you get. And I appreciate, you know, everyone giving me their feedback, because it makes me become a better version of myself. Namaste.
Thank you very much. And to be honest, I couldn't tell that you were nervous, so I thought you did an excellent job. And Twinkle, how did you find today's meeting?
Yeah, today's meeting was good. I like the small group, as well as I enjoyed all the speeches. Yeah, so everything went well from my perspective. I wish I could have prepared a little more better timer cards than these. I'm not sure if these were visible, but I'll be more prepared next time, and hopefully planning to give my speech as soon as possible.
Great, great. Well, we'll go ahead and ask the Sergeant at Arms, or whoever's recording this video, to stop. Please welcome you to stay afterwards